Hello there, Reawaken fans. This is Colleen Houck, the author of the Reawaken series, and I'm here bringing you another top 10 list, and this time it's the top 10 things you're going to find when you read the Reignited book, which is the novella in the Reawaken series. And the number one thing you're going to find in Reignited is actually the god Seth. This is a statue of Seth, and Seth is the villain in my series, although you don't see a lot of him in either Reawakened or Recreated. You will see him, though, in Reignited. That's his kind of origin story and how he became the villain. You see him most commonly depicted with like this, with this animal as his head, and they call it the Seth animal, and there's a lot of theories as to what it is. I kind of take a stab at explaining what it is and why this animal represents Seth in Reignited. So you're going to have to pick up that book and figure out what that animal is and why that one, in my opinion, why it's depicted as Seth most frequently. So there's your number one thing you're going to see in Reignited. And the number two thing you're going to see in Reignited is the goddess Isis. Now, you see her up close better. Isis makes an appearance in Recreated, kind of in the first half of the book or so, and you just see her briefly, but in Reignited you see her frequently. In fact, she's kind of the heroine of Reignited, although Reignited is told in third person, so I get a bounce back and forth in different voices from time to time. But Isis, beautiful girl. She has these gorgeous wings, and she's in love with Osiris, so he's coming up on the list. So this is your number two thing you're going to see in Reignited is Isis. And the number three thing you're going to see in Reignited is the god Amun-Ra. He comes into play in Recreated. You're going to see him quite a bit, get to know his personality a lot in Recreated. But in Reignited, he's kind of, you see what his role is among the other gods, which is kind of fun. This is one of the depictions of him, and he's got the sun symbol on his hat, so that's how you can tell that it's Amun-Ra. And he's kind of the main guy. He's the creator in my universe of all things, so he's got a lot of power, and he knows a lot of things that are going on. But of course, there's always a woman who knows just a little bit more. So, and we'll meet her next. Number 4 on my list is that woman I was talking about, and that is Isis's sister, Nexus. And this is Nexus, at least my version of her. And Nexus, as you can see here, does not have wings like her sister Isis, although she does in Reignited. And you're gonna get to understand the story why sometimes she has wings and sometimes she doesn't. So I put that in my book Reignited as well. Nexus ends up getting married in mythology and in my book to Seth, the evil god. So you'll see kind of how their relationship developed and what kind of a person she is in relation to her sister. So you'll meet Nexus. And the number 5 thing you're going to see in my novella Reignited is an Adderstone again, and an Adderstone came into play in Reawakened, and you're going to see it more in Reignited. You'll understand a little bit more about what it is and what it symbolizes. Since I've done the video for Reawakened, I actually got a real Adderstone, and here's what they look like. They're really kind of cool. Whoops. And in the book, one of these stones is used to locate a secret passageway for Hassan to take our heroes into a cave. In Reignited, it's slightly different, and there's a mountaintop that is entirely in Adderstone, and so it has some kind of a magical property. So you'll see that in Reignited. So an Adderstone is your next one up. And the number 6 thing you're going to see in the book Reignited are heart scarabs again. And a heart scarab, for those of you who have not read Reawakened yet, is a kind of a physical symbol of giving someone your heart. And in this case, here's one right here. That would be like Isis's heart scarab. And then here's another one. Whoops, here's another one. And on the mummies in Egypt, they actually had scarabs, and they would actually put them over the heart because it was supposed to guard your heart from testifying against you in the judgment when your heart is weighed against a feather. So it's kind of a fun symbol for me to play with in my fiction. But yes, so heart scarabs is the next thing you're going to see in Reignited. And the number 7 thing you're going to see in Reignited is, of course, you're going to see this guy again, Anubis. He's a tall, dark, and handsome fellow who just happens to be a dog lover. So here's him with his little dog, and his dog is named Abutiu, which I got from a baby names book, of course. And Abutiu is kind of the father of all dogs, and he's really kind of cool. Really like this dog a lot. So Anubis, the hot Anubis, plus his dog also make an appearance in Reignited. And the number 8 thing you're going to see in Reignited, I'm going to switch actually to this one next. Number 8 thing you're going to see in Reignited is sand, specifically a box of sand. And we have, here's my little sand right here. And of course, sand has been kind of a theme in the Reawakened series. You have sand everywhere. You can make weapons out of sand, and Lily falls through a quicksand and all kinds of sand things. I borrowed my Mr. Kadam box actually because I don't have a gold box yet, but there is a golden box full of sand that Seth gifts to Osiris at his wedding party. And some bad stuff starts to happen. So we're borrowing Mr. Kadam's spice box. This was actually his cool spice box. And so you'll have to see how that whole story plays out in Reignited. And the number 9 thing you're going to see in Reignited is actually the wedding of Isis and Osiris. And here they are in their wedding glory. Like I said, though, Isis has wings, which you don't get to see right here. Pretty cape kind of symbolizes her wings. And their wedding wasn't all they wanted it to be, sadly. You'll have to find out what happens in their wedding. Which is kind of a fun story to revisit with Seth and their animosity in the book. So Reignited, you see the wedding of Isis and Osiris. And number 10, last thing you're going to get to see here today with Reignited are these cool little statues. I love these. They're so awesome. So this is Isis and Nexus, her sister. And there's a big scene at the end of Reignited where these two girls are kind of in this pose, and they're doing a spell, actually, a special spell. And it's one that you'll be familiar with because Amun uses the spell in Reawakened. So you'll have to see what happens with this spell, how it originated, and where Amun got the inspiration to do it in the first place. So very big scene at the end of Reignited. Isis and Nexus, her sister, enacting a spell. So that's it. Thanks so much, guys, and go read.